Da 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 da. Oh wait, that's not this movie.
Not that movie.
It's a very different movie.
So welcome back to our discussion of The Hobbit. We're moving on to part 2.
Huh.
So
Oh no, false.
So we're in Rivendell.
we were.
Are they actually in Rivendell, the part 2 of The Hobbit? I don't remember. I don't think so. That would be an insane coincidence.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't think they are.
Maybe they're in the mountains?
Probably.
Mountains again, mountains, Gandalf.
Yes.
The Misty Mountains.
The big rock troll things.
Oh.
Rock
Stone
giants, stone giants.
So, it's funny because the Hobbit book is basically just like trolls made out of rock, and then the movie was like 40-foot or 40-story tall skyscrapers of rock.
Mm-hmm.
It's really dumb.
It is what it is. But we're not actually discussing that movie
We're
today.
not?
Are we?
I mean, I watched it.
Oh, what? How could you?
He.
Mm-hmm. That makes me sad.
Makes you sad.
Yep.
What?
I said that makes me sad.
What makes you
You
sad?
would watch that. You would watch that movie.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we ended with them, the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yes. And then we start with an extended scene because the lighting's different from the next scene.
Right. Is this, where, Aragorn's talking to what's-her-face? Or,
I thought he was talking to Elrond. I could be wrong.
you might be right.
I might be. I might not be. They have a discussion. Things happen, but also they don't.
Let's see.
Ryan's looking it up. I was just going to skip along to the next scene where they leave Rivendell.
Right, yeah.
Well,
You get some exposition, some things.
isn't this when Frodo gets Sting, and we have
Oh.
creepy Bilbo?
Is that the beginning of this half? It
I
all
think
blends
so.
together.
I think you're right, yeah, because, yeah, they're getting ready to go.
Oh, right, he gives him the mithril.
Yeah, it gives in the mithril. My old ring.
Mm-hmm. It's a very, very creepy looking Bilbo. I remember being very scared when I was a young child of Bilbo.
Bilbo.
Yep. Poor Bilbo.
There's some talking. There's
Yep,
some
some
exposition.
talking.
Then they're like, time to go. May the best wishes of all men, elves, and free folk. Really doing a dig to the dwarves there. Because the camera centers on Gimli when he says that.
Yep. And so they're, oh yeah, Frodo has to ask which way to go.
Is it left or right?
Left.
And then we get the epic music.
The epic music. 9 guys walking over a hill. It never looked so cool.
Da, 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 da. Yep. And then at some point we get to them hanging out by some rocks.
Yep,
And
they're,
the
they're
birds.
camping in the middle of the afternoon. Maybe taking
Yep.
a rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Letting Pippin and Merry do a little training with Boromir. They're having a jolly time.
Yeah, I think that's an extended scene. I don't think that's them jousting or fighting, practicing. It's in the theatrical. Don't think it is.
I
remember.
couldn't tell you.
But yes, then there's a cloud. Nothing. It's just a cloud.
Just a wisp of cloud.
Yeah.
But it's Crab-Eye from
Dunland.
something.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Evil birds.
Yeah. Bad birds.
Bad.
Scouts.
Oddly enough, that reminds me of a D&D campaign. I had a character whose greatest fear was birds.
Oh.
A birdman tried to save him, he killed him and drowned himself. And thus was the end of my character.
I know a
Alright.
person in real life who's afraid of birds.
Oh, I'm not actually afraid of birds.
There
It
wa-
just seemed like an odd thing.
There was one time I was driving around with her and her husband, and he was chasing after seagulls with their car, and she was screaming the entire time. It was quite funny.
That sounds funny.
This has been an amazing anecdote.
Yep.
Number 500. You're welcome.
Anecdotes from Ryan.
Excellent.
Excellent. Anyways, they have to hide from the birds.
Bad birds.
It doesn't really do anything.
No,
The birds see them.
the birds see them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be fair, I think Boromir was just like under a shrub. Didn't
Yeah.
seem like the best hiding spot.
Nah.
Or was, I don't know. I don't remember who it was. Someone was just like under a.
Yep.
Yeah. They tried.
They tried.
They were kind of in a exposed spot.
That's true.
So Gandalf makes the executive decision. Let's take the path or
The pass
cross-
of Caritas or
yeah,
something.
Carathas. Yeah,
Yep.
that thing.
Carid harass.
Caraderis.
I don't know.
Caradras.
So
Whatever.
they're walking and it's cold.
In the
It's-
snow.
Yeah, it's in the snow.
Frodo
Mhm.
falls down some snow.
He
Yeah.
trips and falls, and you get that one shot that Peter Jackson made all the money off of, framed so well with the ring in the forefront.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Boromir has his chance. He could have taken it right there, put it on, and done whatever he wanted.
Was that the scene where they had the super big ring that they used? Or was that just an actual normal
I think
sized
that's
ring?
in The Return of the King when at the beginning Driegel and Smeagol
Oh,
are fighting, and there's like a big ring in the foreground as they're
sure.
trying to get it.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. From the way the shot was shot, it just seemed like good framing.
Mm-hmm. Well, Peter Jackson's got to get the money shot.
You know, he spent all that money on ridiculous. What's it called when you're at two different distances? Forced perspective.
Yes.
He spent all that money on that forced perspective set that he built to use for 2 scenes at Bag End.
Hey.
Yeah,
You know?
It all worked
So
out.
luckily, Sean Bean doesn't go completely nuts at this point.
At this point,
Not yet.
you're
Yes.
spilling the beans, Curtis.
The beans.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Sean.
Clever.
Ah.
Sean
So they keep going and they're walking, and then it's like really snowy,
Bean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then you hear voices.
Yeah.
Voices on the air.
There's Legolas walking on the snow.
On the snow.
Yep.
He's a
yes.
very light elf.
Is the implication that all elves are light?
Oh, there was something I did want to bring up that we didn't really talk too much about in...
Gandalf hitting his head and making his "oh" noise.
That's one
Oh,
of
yeah.
them.
Okay.
Oh!
We did forget about that.
But the other thing was, it's never really explained that it vaguely in the beginning of the movie, it's kind of stated that Frodo knows Elvish. He says it's some form of Elvish. I can't read it,
Right.
meaning that he can read some. In the books, apparently, the other hobbits, I guess, asked him, like, what are they saying in Elvish? Because he's
Oh.
around them. He's around them all the time, and Aragorn and Legolas. But Frodo learned Elvish from a book from, like, really upper high elves. So he learned, like, Shakespearean version of Elvish, and all the other elves are, like, language kind of changes over time.
That's true.
So I remember reading a bunch of comments at one point because it came up in a Reddit thread, and it was like they just sounded like Hicks to him,
Oh,
essentially.
okay. Interesting.
Weird.
And I wish that they could have tried to bring that in, but oh well.
That's something that The Hobbit would have tried to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
How can we get a fourth movie out of this one book?
We have 2 whole pages left. It says that Bilbo went back and had other adventures. We can make up those adventures.
There we go.
Yeah.
And back again. Anyways, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, Extended Edition, Part 2.
So we're getting some Christopher Lee. It's like almost narration by him. He's like talking to Gandalf basically, but
Yeah.
it's like, what will you go through the mines of Moria? And you get in this extended edition, you get to see his book when he opens it.
Yes.
It's got a picture of
There's the Balrog inside.
yeah.
These great illustrations of the mines. Pretty cool.
Pretty wizard.
Mm.
That
So-
was me being clever.
Mm.
So I was reading, this is kind of a side note, but so Gandalf is like 6,000 something years old at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read how old Aruman is at this point.
Aroman.
In any case, if they do this Amazon Lord of the Rings series, are they going to bring
Well, they
Ian
can't bring
McKellen
Christopher
back?
Lee back.
Right, you can't bring Christopher Lee back, which is
Sad.
yeah, it's very sad. But you could get the voice actor dude from Clone Wars
Oh, yeah.
and
That-
at least do his voice.
That would
but-
be that would be a clever nod.
I just see a lot of logistical problems with that.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna.
I doubt it.
Yeah, we'll see.
We will see.
Maybe they'll talk about the Blue Wizards. We'll finally learn their names.
2 blueses.
Ooh.
Yes.
As
I've quite
long-
forgotten their names.
As long as we don't get more Radagast.
I think he is a wonderful wizard in his own way.
No. No.
So Gandalf gives Frodo the decision.
Let the ring bearer decide.
Yes.
We shall go
So-
through the mines. So get off that mountain real quick.
Yeah. Poor Sam has to let Bill the pony go or whatever.
He was such a good boy.
Even a pony as brave as Bill can't go through Moria.
Yeah. I think that is an extended edition scene. I don't think they really talked about Bill in the theatrical version.
I mean, you didn't see Bill up on the mountain, so you gotta wonder where was Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Ford says Amazon Lord of the Rings will be garbage.
That's
Garbage.
true. John, I'm glad we're on the same page with that one.
I'm hopeful, but I'm not optimistic.
Yeah.
John Ford's hope has been run into the ground by the AAA's video game industry.
I'm sorry, John Ford.
And the ending of Game of Thrones.
I'm sorry, John Ford.
Anyways, they're crawling along some mountains, and it's something that took me many years to notice. When you see like the water trickling down, that's like a whole dwarvish building outcropping, because that was in the book they talk about the lake of whatever that was like a defensive mechanism for that gate.
Okay.
So you get to see a
Oh.
bit of that in that wide shot, but they don't really talk about it because, it's a movie. That would be long, gratuitous exposition. You don't need that.
Right. Oh, by the way, so speaking of extra things, I was reading somewhere that, and I don't know if the writer was making it up or not, but he said that Peter Jackson still has a whole bunch more scenes that he's saving for whatever next Super Director's Cut edition.
He filmed Tom Bombadil.
He must have.
I don't know if he did that, but he said that he filmed Gimli. I don't know if he post Return of the King. I don't know if he filmed him when he gets to go to the Undying Lands or if it was something else. But
When Legolas smuggled him into the Undying
That's
Lands.
right.
I don't think
It's like,
he
you're my
smuggled
best
him.
friend. You're coming with.
In the books, or like whatever story sort of covered what happened afterwards, Legolas smuggled him into the Undying Lands
Oh.
because dwarves weren't allowed to go or something.
Ah, of course, of course.
But he was his bud.
He was his bud, so he just fraud Howard. Todd the fraud. Yeah.
Well,
Yikes.
So, who knows? Maybe in
maybe they'll release the version of the Two Towers where we do have what's her name?
Arwen.
Arwen at
Helm's Deep.
Helm's Deep.
I don't think we need that version.
I
Huh.
mean,
that is interesting.
You can see her in like 2 different scenes, Curtis, for half a second total.
See, I finished Fellowship of the Ring, and then I also watched Two Towers because I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this makes perfect sense.
Yes, it does.
And I didn't. I mean, I thought about it as the battle started, but I didn't catch anything
I
because I
can-
wasn't paying attention.
I can only see her in one of the 2 shots, and I notice it every time now, just because she's like wearing well, not bright, but like red, as opposed to everyone else who's wearing like the Rohan colors are black.
Right.
So
yeah.
like she's in the background in one of the horse scenes near the end, and I'm like, oh, there she is.
All right. Anyway, so we get to the entrance of Moria.
Yes. Revealed by starlight and moonlight.
It's a common thing for these dwarvish
Yeah.
entrances.
Well, it wasn't until Peter Jackson changed it.
Oh, was that not how it is in the book? I
No,
don't
in
remember.
The Hobbit, it was just the last moon or the last daylight.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you have to make it more dramatic.
I didn't think they did.
it is what it is.
Took up another 5 minutes.
Hey.
He had to pad
then
that
we got-
runtime somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh.
Tell Benedict to speak
Just keep-
slower as Swan. Oh.
Take longer pauses between
Acting like a weird
My-
dragon.
my wings are
Oh, hurricane.
hurricane.
Did you watch any of that behind the scenes?
Oh, where
Where
he's
he's, like,
crawling
slithering
around.
Oh,
around
he's
on the ground,
crawling.
yes.
Yeah.
He looks ridiculous. I mean, he's like, I saw how what's his name playing Gollum did it. I can do
Yeah,
this
sure.
too.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yes, you'll be a 200-ton dragon.
he tried. I'll give him that.
John Ford says the theatrical version of the entrance scene is quite different.
Yes.
No swamp monster. What? I'm so confused.
Oh, you mean the octopus thing?
Yes, the guardian of the...
Really?
Yeah.
It's been probably 17 years since I've watched the theatrical version,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Don't really remember. But I did play the game, and the game, well, the Two Towers, is it? The Two Towers game, I think you play this part.
Really?
Yeah, I think you have,
Interesting.
it's one of those things where you have to shoot the, maybe? I don't know.
I don't
It's
know
been,
either.
It's been a long time.
Anyways,
yeah.
there was a riddle to open the door, and those dwarves, being sneaky, they were like, what will people never figure out? The Elvish word for friend.
Mm-hmm. It's like, why would
Why
the
dwarves
dwarves speak
use-
Elvish?
Right.
Yes, that is clever.
Quite clever.
Clever girl.
Clever girl. So they open the doors, and then they go in, and they're like, it's not a mine. It's a tomb.
Oh, but at the
Ba-da-ba.
before they went in, Merry and Pippin were throwing rocks in the water.
Right, and then
Yeah.
Viggo Mortensen told them to stop.
Yep. Do not
Was that-
disturb the water.
Was that line used in the in the trailer? I feel like that's a trailer line.
Do not disturb the water?
No, the tomb
Oh.
thing.
Oh.
It's not a
Curtis, I
mine.
don't think I've ever seen the trailers for
Yeah.
this movie.
I don't
Maybe.
remember a
Mm.
trailer for this movie ever. Maybe Return of the King.
I wasn't paying attention to trailers. I
Yeah.
still don't.
Hmm. There's a definite art to trailer creation.
Yes. And then that art was taken and turned into a movie. It's called Suicide Squad.
Hey.
Have you seen the modern trailer for Wrath of Khan? Did I ever share that with you guys?
I've seen it on the
Yeah.
algorithm. I didn't watch it.
Oh, it's so cool.
Hmm.
It gets you so excited to watch it for like the millionth time.
Okay.
All right.
That's what we should review next week.
The
The modern
The
trailer
modern
for
trailer?
Wrath of Khan.
Not Wrath of Khan. Okay.
So don't watch the movie, just
Watch
the
the
trailer.
trailer.
So watch the trailer.
And then we'll talk about Two Towers.
Yes.
Okay.
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 I think we could do
I-
this.
this can be done.
Star Trek 2, like 2 towers.
Huh.
Huh.
Haha.
Huh. Anyway.
That means the week after that we'll need a separate 2 trailer for something else to review before we finish the 2 towers.
Right.
We'll work on it.
Okay.
We've got like a whole 2 weeks. We'll figure it out.
Sounds good. So they're
Okay. so
scared. It's
Yep.
a tomb.
Swamp
They're running
monster
out,
gets
but then
angry.
there's a giant
hungry.
swamp monster
Yep.
from Dagobah, apparently.
Yep.
According to John Ford.
That doesn't. You would say. Well, I don't know what you'd say. I don't think it's very weird looking.
It's a kraken before the kraken was a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I just watched Pirates 2 also, so.
Some of the shots are a little. I mean, you can tell it was like blue screen and
Well, yeah.
composite with digital stuff.
That'll happen. Like,
Yeah.
here and there, I noticed some things, but, like, for the most part, your brain's
Yeah, I
not
mean,
paying attention to it.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's just darkness is tough to do good blue screen work.
Yeah.
Yes, but they had to do dark because that hides the horrible imperfections of their rendering software.
Mm.
We're driving in
We need to
reverse
push the
anyway, so it all
movie-
works out.
Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
push the movie release time back by a week so we can finish rendering this one shot.
But anyways,
Yeah.
giant kraken monster forces them back into the tomb entrance
Mm-hmm.
and collapses the doors, so that their only path is forward, as Gandalf says.
He gets a glowing rock.
He gets a glowing rock. Yep. On Radagast's staff,
Yes.
I hate The Hobbit so much. That's so dumb.
Eh.
He says. Anyways, they walk, and then they find some mithril, and they're like, Moria's wealth was not in gems or gold, but in mithril.
Mm.
You get a shot of Frodo, like, huh,
Oh,
interesting.
I could buy the Shire with my shirt.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So they're walking.
And then they're walking, and they walk some more, and then they get to the three-way intersection.
I don't remember this
I
way.
have no memory of this place, yes. Gandalf does not remember the way. So then they're sitting. Frodo sees Gollum. Then they talk about Gollum.
And this is it's almost Gollum.
What do you mean?
It's pretty close to the final version.
Well, this movie is not about Gollum.
True.
He is meant to be a shadowy figure that is then a big reveal in part 2.
Hmm. His eyes are different.
That's only the light reflecting on him. When he moves his head forward, you get a good look. It's actually very similar.
Okay. So they're talking.
They talk and Frodo's like, I wish the ring had never come to me. I wish none of this had happened. And then you have some emotional, heartfelt connection between Gandalf and Frodo.
Hmm.
So do all who lived to see such times. Some nonsense. It's not nonsense. It's beautiful, but I wasn't paying enough attention to it. I was busy, kind of, but also not.
And then Gandalf took a sniff.
Yes, he took a whiff. Ah, it's that way. He's remembered. No, the air is not so foul down here. When in doubt, best periodic. Always follow your nose.
So they started walking.
They walk some more, and then they find the great hall of Moria.
Hmm.
Even Gimli, a seasoned dwarf, was like, oh,
Yes.
awed by the wonder.
Yes.
See, I think I'm wondering if this. I don't know if this like was in the original book or if they added these things
Oh,
based on the movie. You know, because it's got the movie thing.
Yeah.
right.
I'm curious. I need to find like an original hard
Curtis's next
copy
journey
edition.
has been discovered.
Yeah.
How much money is he going
eBay.
to spend on original copies of The Lord of the Rings?
They're really not
No.
that expensive. They're like, if you find softcover books, $2 or $3.
Oh.
So
Okay.
Those would
maybe
probably be in
more if
poor
it's in good-
condition.
yeah.
Yeah, that
If it's in
seems
good
like
condition,
way
maybe
more
10.
affordable than my some of my other books that I've bought off eBay. Holy smokes!
It's largely dependent on condition
Yeah.
and edition.
Yes. Gotta get those first editions.
Nope. As someone who does not collect comic books, nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes. So they're walking through the Great Hall.
Right, and then they see the beam of light in the little side room. Oh!
Gimli is so sad.
He is very sad. They found Balin's tomb.
You know what this movie cut out?
What?
There's a whole dwarf chant that Gimli did while they were in there.
Oh, of
It
course.
takes up a whole page.
Yeah. As
Course
I
it
recall,
is.
they were also in Moria for like weeks in the book.
Yeah.
Like it was just that huge of a place.
I'm surprised that through weeks they never saw any other dwarves.
They were all dead.
Like not one of them survived.
Right, and there was a Balrog.
I suppose. But they walk over to Balin. Which one?
Balin.
Balin. They go over
Balin's
to his
tomb.
tomb. And then there's also the other one who was the scribe. He was another one.
Yes, he
From the
was.
original.
I forget which one of the 13 he was offhand. I know he was one of them. Might have been Ori.
Or Nori.
It might have been Nori. Tolkien, you really needed to work on your naming convention with the 13 dwarves.
Oh well. But they're sad. They look at Gimli's sad.
Gimli is sad.
They look at the scribe's notes,
Right.
possibly Nori's, and Gandalf
Very-
recounts everything that was
Yeah.
going on,
Yes.
while Pippin is looking at the skeleton.
Yes, he's very curious all of a sudden.
Yes.
And he knocks it into the well.
He squeezes its hand, and that causes its head to fall off.
It makes sense.
Fool of a took.
Right. Well, the head fell off, and then the skeleton body fell off, and that was holding on to a chain, which took a bucket down.
Yes.
Fool of a Duke. I've seen a great story. It's circled around the Lord of the Rings memes subreddit a couple of times. Basically, this girl was in an elevator with someone else, and just as they started to get off, they dropped their phone in between the crack in the elevator, and she really wanted to just scream, "Fool of a Duke!"
Fool of Took. Yeah.
Ha.
Ha. John Ford asks, if these movies were instead made today, which director, aside from Jackson, would you guys wish to see take the job?
J.J. Abrams.
Huh?
Set up the J.J. Abrams mystery box from the beginning. We'll have no idea what's coming.
I just imagine too much lens flare. I don't know if I could handle that.
I'm going to
No,
go
I'm
with the
kidding.
Russo brothers.
Huh? That's not bad.
Oh.
They do justice.
They do justice.
Christopher Nolan.
Okay.
No,
He'd go all in.
probably the Russo brothers. I don't know. I think Peter Jackson had a pretty good balance of like humor and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I can definitely see Christopher Nolan. He'd go all in on everything.
He would try to spin the camera in so many different ways and spin so many sets up and down and back and forth.
Don't necessarily need, but
it sure would look cool.
it would look interesting.
I was thinking, if they made it today, they would probably do something like Disney's. What's the thing? It's not The Void.
Oh, the thing that they did for The Mandalorian.
Yeah, their video suite. So you wouldn't necessarily. Well, I mean, you could still go out on location, but
yeah,
the big computer generated set
yeah,
that just creates it.
John Ford suggested Michael Bay.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know if we need that many explosions.
Wait. Just think about the Battle of Helm's Deep for a second here.
So many bombs.
So many bombs.
Well, and so many like whip zooms,
Oh, God.
right on somebody's eyes. No.
Battle of Helm's Deep would have trolls flinging bombs.
I mean, the problem is, the ultimate problem with having Michael Bay direct it, he wouldn't be able to get the military into the movie because they don't exist in this world. So he couldn't do it.
That's true. It wouldn't be possible.
Time travel.
Time
The military
travel.
figured out how to time travel, so they go back to the third age.
I think this would also qualify as dimension shifting. Because I don't think...
It is Middle Earth, Ryan. The moon
But is
looks
it
pretty
our
similar.
Earth?
Yeah, the moon looks pretty similar.
Isn't
I
that
don't know.
wasn't that one of J.R.R. Tolkien's, like, he started working on something, or did he do something where the timeline led to the Middle Ages somehow?
He wrote stories with, like, King Arthur and all of those people, kind of in the Lord of the Rings setting in Middle-earth. It's very weird. Transformer emerges. I don't know about that. I mean,
This is sounding more like Ready Player One.
hey,
It's like it's everything.
I'm reading Ready Player 2 right now. That's
I
it's
did
interesting.
I rewatched the movie.
Yeah.
I
It's
enjoy
okay.
it for for like the
The
all the
DeLorean.
cool stuff
the references.
happening at the same time.
It's
The
basically
Shining
reference
reference.
the movie.
I try to find a new reference every time I watch it because there are so many.
I only watched it twice.
Yeah. I think I showed it to you the first time.
Yes, you did.
But anyways,
Anyways,
orcs are coming.
right.
Boromir looks through a door, and there comes a spear. They have a cave troll.
They fight and they fight and they fight.
They
and
fight?
It's interesting. If you're paying attention to it, Frodo's sword stops glowing.
Really?
Like partway through the fight. Yeah. I mean, there's still orc in the room. Like his sword shouldn't stop glowing.
Hmm.
And obviously they never made Gandalf's sword glow.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Which is always, it's kind of weird when you notice it. It's like, oh, it should, but it doesn't. Okay.
You know, I'm thinking back. I think the Two Towers game starts at this battle sequence.
Hmm.
You start in the Moria battle for whatever reason. I don't know why they went back half a movie.
Okay.
Probably to show the Gandalf stuff.
Oh, lead up. Kind of follow the movie, Curtis,
Oh,
with the Gandalf
yeah.
flashback.
Gandalf, yeah. Although you did not get to play as Gandalf falling down. That would have been
Well.
a cool.
Yeah.
We're not, the Uncharted games hadn't been made yet.
Yeah.
Or maybe they had. I don't know.
Who cares? Uncharted sucks.
Never played them.
So they're fighting.
Although
they're fighting.
Nathan Fillion is very interested in playing Nathan Drake if they ever make a movie. He even went.
He
and
made a
did-
fan movie.
Yes, he went and made a fan movie of
Yeah.
Uncharted because he loves it so much. Or he loves the idea.
I mean, he looks perfect for it.
Sure.
And now, because of the rookie, he's like ripped. So,
Awesome.
I mean, he could do it.
I'm waiting for ODST too.
Hey, one day.
One day.
I mean, they've set it up with the Bad Blood book,
Oh yeah.
kind of.
Kind of. Rookie's still dead.
He is, but I guess the idea is you have
You
what's
have
his name's wife?
Veronica?
No,
Oh, her,
you
yeah,
have
Dutch's wife.
Dutch's wife. Gail or something,
I
or
don't remember what the name was.
it's like some old timey name, just Gretchen.
Gretchen. That might be it. I think that is. Anyways, Curtis, we're off topic slightly. Talking about Halo. Imagine that.
Hey,
Me talk about Halo?
What?
No.
what is this?
It reminds me of the possibility that Ellen Ty might be a Cylon.
Hey, is she though?
Is she, though?
Were they all Cylons?
Oh, you're turning into Mother. No, they are not all Cylons.
Are you sure?
Yes.
But if
Oh,
they're human,
now we're talking about Battlestar Galactica.
then what are the people on Earth 1.5 or 1.2? Are they humans? Or aren't they?
Anyways, Lord of the Rings. They fight and they fight, and there's a cave troll, and then
Cave Troll stabs Frodo
Stabs
with a
Frodo.
big spear.
the giant spear.
He would have been impaled, regardless of the mithril.
I was thinking, maybe does the mithril it's like that weird substance that when you hit it becomes like more solid.
Oh, okay, I know what
The
he's
semi-liquid
talking
stuff,
about.
but when you just touch it, it's like wavy or.
That would make some amount of sense in this situation. I don't think Peter
Suppose.
Jackson thought that much about the logistics.
No.
Yeah.
He just got a cool shot.
He did get a cool shot. Well, Ryan, seeing as the mithril is unbreakable, pretty much, I don't think he would have been impaled, but
He could have had some broken bones
he
at
would have
the
had
very
broken
least.
bones. His internal organs would have been not so great. There would have been problems.
He would have been a little mushed.
Just a wee bit.
But
he's fine.
He's fine.
He walks it off.
Legolas.
The One Ring knew to keep him. I don't know.
Oh,
Yes.
sure.
Sure.
Legolas climbs the troll and shoots it in the back of the head.
And then becomes CG to jump off.
Or was that Aragorn and Gimli climbing on him and then he shoots him in the face? I don't remember.
No, he shoots him in the back of the head, jumps off, and then shoots him like
Ah,
through the mouth
okay.
later.
That makes more sense.
And then miraculously, yeah, Frodo's doing okay.
He's doing all right. Yep. He's alive.
You are
They're
full
like-
of surprises, Master Baggins.
To the bridge of Khazad-dûm. Or is that later? I don't remember.
No, that's like pretty much right then.
Yeah.
So then they all start running, and you get that CG shot of them running, and it's like revealing the big area.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And all the orcs are crawling down.
Then they crawl away
Yes.
because they're scared of what's there.
Fire and smoke.
Yes. I always thought that the goblins that we see in The Hobbit should have looked more like these orc.
Mm.
Because I think in the Tolkien universe, orcs and goblins are like closely related.
They're pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I think it just kind of depends on who's controlling them, maybe.
Oh, I thought it was more like you came from that region, you're a goblin, because you developed
be.
on your own for 800 years or something.
Could be that
Dumb
too.
stuff. I don't know. I didn't
Yeah.
read the Silmarillion. I know. I'm a terrible fan.
We could take a moment to just appreciate the makeup and
Oh, yes.
all the design to make all those goblin orcs look so intimidating and cool.
It's very
And-
nice.
And
Well done.
not CG at least in the close-ups.
Yeah. Did a fine job with that.
You also don't have a giant goblin singing Goblin Town.
Ooh.
That was interesting.
That's only in the extended Hobbit.
That's very true.
Thank the gods.
I don't think I've ever actually... Have I watched the extended Hobbits?
Well, Curtis, I can tell you, you could
Mm.
take them off my hands.
No, I mean, I think they're on... They might be on HBO Max.
Oh,
Maybe they're
right.
not.
You use streaming services.
Yeah.
Weird. If The Mandalorian was available for purchase, I would buy it.
Yes.
Yeah,
In a heartbeat.
yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the Balrog, you see the faint glow of it, kind of off in the
Yes.
distance.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Swords are no more use here. They're running. Then they reach the staircase.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
No one tosses a dwarf.
Nope.
Yep.
Not the beard!
The beard. That must have really hurt.
If it was an actual beard, yes.
Yeah. I would not enjoy that.
No.
And they're jumping, and then the gap becomes bigger. Aragorn and Frodo are like, "Oh, we can't do this."
But
So-
then the stairs behind them get broken off, and they're like, "Oh, we can just
Ride this out.
ride this out,
Lean.
lean forward."
Yes.
Dun,
And-
dun, 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 dun,
Yep.
dun.
So they keep going, and amazingly, somehow, the Balrog is not caught up to them.
No.
It catches up to them 10 seconds later when they're at the bridge of Khazad-dûm.
Right, but
Yes.
they all make it across the bridge, and then it catches up.
I suppose. Curtis, did you know the scene where the overhead shot where they're running across the bridge, that is pure CGI?
I think I knew that. That's in the bonus features that how they
Probably.
show how they created that?
I
So
assume
I
it
could have
was.
well. Is it CG though?
It is.
Because I could have sworn I remember watching a bonus feature where they talked about that, and they had to. They like placed them in order, figuring out how fast they were running. I don't know.
I'm
Thought
nearly
maybe there was some
positive it
green
was
screen
CG.
involved. But yeah, maybe it might have just been CG. I don't know.
Either way, it looks pretty good.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's cool.
And here's Mr. Balrog.
Mr. Balrog finally catches up.
In the animated movie, the Balrog is just a dude with a lion mask and very bad looking wings. He's kind of rotoscoped into the scene to make him look like he's flying. And
Uh-huh.
he's got a very funky whip. that he carries Indiana Jones style.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That's intriguing.
And he's about the same height as Gandalf.
I mean, they are
Oh.
both tier 3 whatevers.
Oh yeah, tier 3 angels.
Yeah. So, I mean, that makes a bit more sense.
Well, they kind of fight. It's more just kind of shouting and whips and...
Well, Gandalf deflects that one sword attack with his
yeah.
magic sphere of light
Yes.
shield that gets overused in The Hobbit.
You know, it'd be funny if there was a version of this movie where it cut, you know, from where he falls, and it just cut to the beginning of the Two Towers, and you just skip the entire end of the Fellowship of the Ring. Like, what the heck happened?
That would be really interesting.
Yes.
I'd watch it.
Wouldn't be bad. So they continue to fight, and then Gandalf does the
Fly, you fools.
the "you shall not pass" thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Tells the students that they must study for their exams, otherwise they shall not pass.
Yes. It's a little harsh. Classes haven't even started yet.
So Balrog starts to fall.
And it does fall. But then, it grabs him with his whip.
Mm-hmm.
And Gandalf falls too.
Yeah.
Sad music.
Yep, everybody's sad. Very sad.
Very, very sad. But then they run some more, and then they get to Lothlorien.
Yes.
They meet Galadriel
Yes.
and Galabor.
I didn't know that was his name.
Galabor is is like her husband or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude.
But you also meet Haldir, whoever shows up at
Oh,
Helm's Deep.
yeah.
Mhm.
That guy.
Yeah.
I just remember him saying Michael Vernon, and I'm like, what? I'm not quite sure if that's the real name, but that's what I heard.
Michael Vernon. Okay.
That is kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, at Helm's Deep.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I guess that's his name.
No, it's like Haldir or something. They're at Lothlorien for a bit. There's a lament for Gandalf.
Yes. It's a creepy staring Galadriel. Her eyes get very big.
She does win the staring contest with everyone.
Kate Blanchett has very big eyes.
I don't think that's the reason she was successful and famous, though.
No,
Unlike
not
Elijah
unlike
Wood.
Elijah Bloom.
His big blue eyes.
Yes. Boromir is talking to Aragorn, and he's talking about how he's the White City is crumbling or
Yes.
something, and our people won't survive, and there's something going on there.
Yeah, Aragorn's not having it.
Yeah. Man is weak.
Man is weak.
Frodo goes and has a chat with Lady Galadriel.
Right. He
Just
goes
a
to
little
the
talk.
the pool.
Yes.
Yes.
The not whatever was in Harry Potter.
Right.
Not the pensive.
Yes, not the pensive. Of course, this was made before the pensive, so thank God. Thank the
yeah.
gods.
We get to see the actual ending to the Lord of the
Yes,
Rings.
we get to
in
see the
this
Scourge
scene.
of the Shire. Very briefly.
It's unfortunate we never actually got to see a full Scourge of the Shire. That could be the fourth movie.
Ah.
The Hobbit?
They'd have to
Yes.
retcon
Okay.
Saruman's death, wouldn't they? Because isn't in the book it's
That's
Saruman who'd
correct,
gone there and
yes.
taken over?
Yeah.
And Wormtongue. They both
I
went to the
mean-
Shire.
Oh yeah.
You could always just say that this is keeping with the storyline of the motion picture release,
Oh, yeah.
because they didn't show
the
that
theatrical
in the
version.
theatrical.
I did know that. because Christopher Lee was very upset about it.
Yeah.
Right.
But they worked it out so he could be in The Hobbit.
Yes. Yeah. Filmed all of his scenes in London because he couldn't do the flight anymore. He was sad.
He was an old man.
Yeah. He would fall asleep on set.
Can you blame him?
No.
No. Neither can I.
So Galadriel and Frodo, they're having a little chat.
You would have a queen.
Ah.
She's tempted. She passes the test.
Yes.
Tempted by the power of the One Ring. And then they leave. There's other stuff, but
Yeah.
They all receive gifts.
Right. Well, that's on their way out.
Yeah.
Legolas gets a cooler bow than he had.
Yep.
Merry and Pippin gets some nice shiny daggers.
Yes. Sam gets rope
Sam gets rope.
because that's what Sam gets.
Nice elvish rope.
Yep. They all get cloaks.
Aragorn gets nothing.
Yeah.
Because he already has the best gift of the evening
Yes.
star.
Even star.
Whatever. I was
Didn't
close.
you listen to the Enya song?
I'm sure I've listened to it. I just didn't pay that much attention to the title.
Yeah.
Gimli gets 3 golden hairs.
Yes.
There's a whole
Ooh.
backstory to the 3 hair thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember half of it, but it was like some other person who really loved Galadriel, like asked her for her hair a bunch,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
3 times. So when she gave him 3 hairs, it was like an inside thing that Gimli didn't understand. But when you see Legolas's smirk, it's like he knew or something.
Huh.
Yeah. It's a whole thing.
It's interesting.
It is.
Does Boromir get a gift?
A cloak.
He got his cool cloak too.
Frodo gets the light of
Elendil,
Elendil.
our most beloved star.
That's it.
That comes in handy in the third.
Yeah,
Book
like
slash movie.
7 hours from now.
Yeah.
Um,
Tunnel.
oh, but then Aragorn gets a cool dagger from
Oh yeah,
The
you did
other
get the
elf
cool
dude.
dagger.
Elf Dude.
Forgot about the cool dagger.
I forget if that's Galadriel's husband or if that's Michael Vernon.
I thought it was Gelibor.
I don't remember.
But then they get some boats, and they're boating down the river.
We kind of skipped over the entire Uruk-hai creation.
Oh yeah, that
But,
happens.
I would say, in terms of this discussion review, that is superfluous
Yeah.
to a degree. It is important, but not necessary.
We'll just say they come out of mud.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And they get the white hand of Saruman.
Yes. And then
They run during the day without shadow.
yes. Saruman gives a kind of Hitler speech at some point in front of all of the Uruk-hai.
I thought that was 2 towers.
It's probably 2 towers.
Could be.
But still.
But still.
Saruman's gone off the deep end.
Yes.
Don't have enough fuel to feed the fires.
Oh, don't forget I remember that part.
Forced Fangorn.
But they get the elvish bread.
Oh, lembas bread.
Yes.
1 bite can feed a grown man for...
Whole day.
How many did you eat? 4.
Stupid fat hobbitses.
They just like the food. So they get in their boats and they're rowing down the river.
And then we get some epic montage moments.
Of them rowing down the river.
Yep.
Yep.
And then the Uruk-hai are dun 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 running.
Running. And
catching
somehow, from 800 million miles away, the Uruk-hai leader, I he has a name. I don't know what it is offhand, but the character does have a name. And Aragorn, they lock eyes,
Yes.
which is impressive because I thought Legolas had the good eyes.
Mm.
We don't know that yet. What do your elf eyes see?
Dun, 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 dun,
Then we get to the big stone dudes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The falls of whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not good with my Middle-earth geography. Sue me. John Ford might sue me. I should take that back.
I think one of them is supposed to be the guy who had the sword that was broken.
The Isildur?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting thing that I remembered. Aragorn takes the sword, Enderwheel,
Mm-hmm.
as it was reforged, because originally it was a different name. He takes that with him when they leave Rivendell in the book.
Yes.
Oh.
We don't have the slow build to get the sword.
Correct. Or
Throughout
his
the
slow build
movies.
to accept his role as King of Gondor.
Book Aragorn was a little bit more like, I am going to be king.
Yeah.
Slightly more.
Slightly more.
Mhm. Movie Aragorn is like, I'm not sure if I want to do this king stuff.
You know, my ancestors were weak. I'll be weak too. I probably shouldn't do this. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Hmm.
So they're rowing down the river. They get past the big
No,
big
they stop.
stone
They
dudes.
stop on the shores of the big stone
right.
dudes, because stone dudes are right next to a giant waterfall.
That's right.
Or they are on either side of a giant waterfall.
I know that those stone dudes, those were bigatures, and they
Yes.
were pretty
Right.
cool.
Oh, no, you're right. They do go past the big stone dudes. Are there more stone dudes behind them?
I don't
No, they're
think
just
so.
the falls.
Yeah.
And
Then there's the island right behind them. All right, I was misremembering. I know, I'm
yeah,
terrible.
so they're gonna wait until nightfall
To cross.
because there are patrols or something on the other side.
Orcs patrol the eastern shores.
We never see any
No.
orcs patrolling anything.
We
So.
we do see Gollum floating on a log.
Yeah.
He's too
All
skilled
right.
a waterman. That's something that'll get paid off in 5 hours.
Yeah. So they're sitting and Frodo disappears. and-
Frodo was off to gather. Wait, no,
Firewood?
Boromir's gathering the wood.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Frodo's just off thinking.
Yep.
None of us should wander alone, least of all you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Not good.
Boromir was blinded by the power of the ring, tries to take the ring from Frodo.
Yes. After swearing an oath to him,
That's two towers.
he tried to kill him.
Luckily,
Yes.
Frodo is
Puts
able
the
to
ring on,
escape.
escapes.
Yeah.
Amazingly, no Nazgul or no Dark Riders or anyone sends him. Well, I guess
Sauron
kind of
does.
sees him after a couple seconds.
I see you.
Yes. And so he's up in that little tower thing. That tower has a name.
Yes, that's an outpost from the old kingdom of Gondor or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably wrong, but I think that used to have one of the seeing stones in it.
Ah.
They're not all accounted for.
Right.
The lost seeing stones.
Palantirs.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Once again, I might be misremembering, but I thought that's what that thing did.
That could be why Sauron was able to zoom in on it so easily.
I don't know. I thought that was just a cool effect.
Frodo falls.
Frodo falls, and then Aragorn's there. He's like, "No, stay away from me. Can you protect me from yourself?" I would've followed
Aragorn
you to
passes the
end.
test.
Yes. I would have followed you to the end, and then all the orcs show up.
So-
Frodo's sword glows again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
So he tells him to run.
It's Aragorn versus 30 dudes.
Yeah.
He lives.
We don't get to see that fight, unfortunately. A little bit.
We don't get to see all of it, yes. Legolas and Gimli show up, help him out.
Yeah.
First, you will come at me, and then you, and I will hit you. John Rhys Davies. First, you will come at me, and I will hit you. And then you will come at me, and I will hit you.
John Rhys Davies liked to point out in the bonus feature said, I was actually the tallest of the Fellowship. So it made sense that I was taller than Merry and Pippin and Frodo and Sam. It's like, okay.
Makes
Sounds
sense
good.
to me.
Thank you.
Thank you. What a treasure.
So they fight. Everybody's fighting.
Frodo is kind of hiding and running. Merry and Pippin draw off orc from him. Urukai. These are Urukai.
Yeah.
We called them orcs earlier, or I did. My bad. So that Frodo can get away. And then Boromir comes and saves Merry and Pippin from getting grabbed.
Yep.
The Horn of Gondor.
Yes.
Starts blowing the Horn of Gondor. He's like, I need help, dudes.
Yep.
Amazingly, throughout this entire thing, you don't see any mention of Sam at all until
Frodo's leaving.
Frodo starts, leaving.
How much you want to bet he just kind of stayed at the near the boats?
Yeah, would make sense.
Well, Boromir's fighting. He's doing pretty well.
You know, he does really well, all things considered.
It's just, you know.
Frodo should have given him his mithril.
Yeah.
Would have helped.
I mean, they probably could have taken some when they were in Moria. If they were there for weeks, you know, they probably could have grabbed at least one or two.
Yeah, one for each member of the Fellowship.
Yeah. Oh, well.
That didn't happen. He gets shot by Chief Urukai. What's his name? It starts with an L. I know he has a name.
Lurtz.
That's it. Lurtz.
Is it?
Yeah.
Lurtz?
He might have only been named in the movie, Curtis. I don't know.
I feel like, well...
Like, every minor evil character had a name.
Yeah. I was just thinking, you know, what's his name? Peter Jackson did make up an elf in The Hobbit. What's her name?
Oh, Tariel.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
But
we don't talk about that.
Okay.
Didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. What are these Hobbit movies you bring up?
He gets shot.
He gets shot, and then he gets shot again, and then he gets shot a third time.
And he just keeps fighting.
He just kept fighting. Yeah.
And they were being overrun. They grab Merry and Pippin.
Yep.
And Merry and Pippin take like a last stand. They're gonna charge, but that
They
didn't
get
really
just
work.
grabbed, yep. That's what happens when you're really short and don't have a lot of stature.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there's Boromir kneeling on the ground with 3 arrows sticking out of him, and Lurtz is like, I'm gonna shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
Then
Gonna give you a fourth one just to be sure.
Just to be sure. Then Aragorn shows up.
Yep. They fight. It's a pretty cool fight.
It's a pretty cool fight. Ryan,
are you going to talk about the dagger?
The dagger? Yes.
Yes, I know this one.
Okay.
The dagger really did fly towards his head, and Viggo Mortensen was...
actually deflected it.
Because he was...
Because he's that awesome.
He's that awesome. He was probably pretty scared, but you know what? It all worked out.
It all worked out.
And Peter Jackson was like, whoa, that looked really cool.
It looked really cool. It did look really cool. It was also very dangerous, potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet they paid Viggo a little bit extra for that scene.
Yeah.
It's like, please don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anyone. But then they went and told everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. For posterity's sake.
So they're going at it, and Aragorn like cuts off
An
one of his
arm.
arms, maybe a leg,
Thought he just nicked the leg.
maybe.
So
It
then he
doesn't
stabs him, and then he goes all Nemesis on him.
Yep, goes all Shizor.
Well, this movie came
We
out
came out
before
before
Nemesis.
that, right? So
Yeah.
Nemesis ripped this off,
Yeah.
Probably.
probably. Well, Nemesis came out 2002.
2002.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
yeah.
was 2001, 2000.
Yep.
Definitely
Yeah.
ripped it off.
So I'm reading, this is intriguing. The book doesn't have any of this battle at the end. It's
Right,
just
that's the beginning of Two Towers, isn't it?
probably,
I think
don't
so.
know. Just reading here. They just like they're all at the riverbank and then Frodo leaves and then the rest of them are talking and Sam goes out and follows him and
Right.
that's how it ends.
And then the battle, I think, is the beginning of Two Towers, when Merry and Pippin get grabbed.
Yeah, Peter Jackson kind of decided to
Shift some things around.
just
Well,
to keep it consistent.
that also, from a cinematic perspective, this gives a big definitive ending to the movie.
Right, there's some narrative structure.
Right, narrative structure, and you've got your high energy action climax.
All right.
It works out.
So Boromir is
Dead.
he's
My
laying
captain,
there.
my king.
Yes. Very sad. It's a
Aragorn takes his bracers
yes. He wears them the rest of the
the rest of the time
Yeah.
until he becomes king.
Yep.
Curtis, did you ever notice that?
Nope.
yeah. It's like I'm gonna loot you quick.
True D&D style.
Yeah. Oh, maybe some bread.
Lembas bread. Let's go. I've got another 20 days. He's a grown man, not a hobbit.
I think he also probably took some arrows because he's like, yeah, gotta restock.
He never uses that bow again.
Except for in Moria.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Again, after Moria.
Yeah.
Moria's the only time.
Well,
His
Oh, well.
dinky little short bow.
yeah. Oh well.
Oh well. Can't win them all.
They put him in a boat and
Push 'em
send
off.
him over the
Over the
falls.
edge, yep. Sam and Frodo are off on the eastern shore, and they're walking.
Hmm.
The fellowship is finished, and then Aragorn makes a rousing speech. They will not leave Merry and Pippin to death and torment.
Yes.
Let's hunt some orc. Yes.
And then they go off for running.
And that's the movie.
That's the movie.
Can't wait for part 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good movie.
It is a good movie.
It's a wonderful movie.
Good start.
Good start. Yes. We probably mentioned it, but all 3 movies were filmed simultaneously,
Right.
which allowed for, I don't know,
A
narrative
year-to-year.
consistency. Yeah,
And a year-to-year
It-
release.
right. That also helped a lot.
I don't know. I wasn't really paying as much attention at this time, but like how big was the hype, Curtis, when
Oh,
this movie was
yeah.
coming out?
I definitely
hype.
didn't notice.
Yeah. I wouldn't have really cared.
I was like 3 or 4,
Yeah.
depending on the year and the time.
I mean, the hype was big enough that I bought the books.
Mm.
You know, these paperback editions.
Right.
And I mean,
I'm sure
My
Brett
friend-
dragged you to it.
yeah, my friends Brett and Jordan were
Oh, right.
huge
Jordan.
into it.
That's right.
I mean, it was so big that we started developing our own version of Lord of the Rings. That we were gonna write our own book or something.
Ah, of
So-
course. Where did that go?
That didn't turn out into anything.
Do you have that manuscript anywhere?
is it-
I'm sure John
is it in
Ford
a-
would like to read it.
Is it in a
There are-
notebook somewhere?
There are some. There were some sketches. I think each of us
Ooh.
started sketching characters.
Okay, all right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Curtis, you should find these sketches, if at all possible.
They're probably somewhere in a folder. I don't know.
I'd be interested.
You know what would be kind of fun? You find the sketches and then you call Jordan and Brett and ask, try to recreate these sketches and what do you think it would look like now?
Right. Yeah, I don't know if I possess all of these sketches or if we kept them separately. So I'd be willing to bet that if they're separate, if they were kept separately, most of them are probably thrown out at this point.
No.
So
Even more incentive to recreate them.
Get Brett on board. We'll have a 3-hour video call.
Yes.
Oh my.
Oh my, he says. You know, Howard Shore brings his A&a game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, great score.
Great score.
Have they ever released like an extended
I'm
edition
sure.
score?
I'm sure it's been done.
Yeah.
Can't imagine it hasn't.
What else? I don't know. These movies, of course, just look better than The Hobbit because they were
Yes.
shot on film and all that.
Shot on film. Shot at 24 frames instead of whatever gods
48.
be damned. Yeah, 48 frames that they decided they needed for 3D.
He wanted it to be smoother.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Ugh. Look, for video games, yes, more frames. For a movie,
It was kind of it just kind of distracted you while watching. It was like, oh,
yes.
that's strange.
Truly, this is Peter Jackson's original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went and George Lucas did.
Mm.
Although I would say the George Lucas prequels hold up a lot better than the Hobbit prequels. Quite possibly because it wasn't a single 300-page novel split up into 3 2.5-hour long movies and then even more filler for the extended editions.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we will continue with the Two Towers part 1 next week.
I guess.
Sounds
if
good.
you have not watched these movies, you should. They're brilliant.
They're good.
There's wonderful.
To our 21 subscribers, please watch these movies.
It's just there's great character work done. Like it's not complex, right? Like especially by today's standards, where you've got the Game of Thrones and the Expanses and all these things that are doing all this ridiculous interweaving storytelling with complex, morally gray characters. This is very straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
This is more Mandalorian than Game of Thrones. And I don't think that that's a bad thing.
No.
Yeah.
That could just be because of, the original, what these movies were based off of, the original books.
Tolkien
they were written at a time.
Also, Tolkien was definitely not trying to create huge, morally complicated situations.
Yeah.
He was
good versus evil.
Right. He kept it straightforward, and it works. It works.
Yep.
If Michael Bay ever tries to remake these movies, I'm going to
start a protest.
That might be interesting. The protest, not the movies.
And I wholeheartedly agree with John Ford's assertion that the Amazon series is going to be Garbaggio. I have no hope.
You never know. They could. The first episode might be like really good, and then the rest might be bad.
Okay, that's possible. There's a saying about blind squirrels and nuts, Curtis.
Right.
They don't just eat them?
No.
Oh. Darn.
Hmm.
Good movies.
Alright.
Good movies. Fellowship is a great movie. Not as good as Two Towers,
Hmm.
in my opinion.
Hmm.
Crank it
Two
up to
Towers is pretty
11
good.
in Two Towers.
What'd you say, Curtis?
Oh, I just said Two Towers is pretty good.
It is.
I don't know. I almost think they're all close to equal. Pretty darn close.
I think
Third
that
one
that
gets a
is-
little long, but
I think that is, once again, in part to the fact that they were all filmed at the same time. Like,
mhm.
you don't have these drops of quality from one sequel to another, because it's all the same people doing all the same stuff for 7 years of whatever filming this movie.
Yeah,
Right.
it could have been longer. Peter Jackson would have been in his basement. It was like, I can film one more scene.
Elijah, I need you to come over to my house. I'll get on a plane right now. I've got a green screen set up. We're going to film that last pickup.
Okay, Peter.
It'd be great.
I wonder if Peter Jackson took advantage of them filming The Hobbit to film a couple more things for The Lord of the Rings. for
know,
the
It wouldn't surprise me.
It would have been the second best thing to come out of The Hobbits, the first being Riddles in the Dark.
mm-hmm.
Where does Billy Boyd's song come in?
Oh, well, was that a direct result of the movie or just like happy accident?
It could be a Bob Ross.
Yeah. We'll have to consider closely where that falls in the grand scheme of good things to come out of The Hobbit. It's a short list.
Hmm.
Thank you for watching our review of The Hobbit Part 2. I mean, what?
What?
If you haven't already, please like the video and then subscribe.
Share the video around.
And then subscribe to the people who share.
Yes. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Next week we'll be talking about the Battle of the Five Armies.